I'm Maddie O'Neill.
Hi, I am Jack Mayfield.
Hi, I'm Cameron Vendetti.
And I'm Joe Sylvia.
Hello, my name is Maddie O'Neill. I have some additional questions for our head of school, Mr. Miller. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, hey, Maddie, thanks for having me. It's really fun to be here.
My pleasure.
I appreciate the invitation.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good head of school?
You know, that's a great question. What do I think makes a great head of school? I'll answer it in a few ways. One, I think a great head of school is really passionate about the school's mission and really enjoys, truly genuinely enjoys working with faculty and students and partnering to create this just wonderful environment, and enjoys working with parents and enjoys problem solving, because sometimes, you know, there are problems that need to be solved.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I every day find great joy in my heart.
Right.
Working with you and your friends and working with the teachers who are just so dedicated and creating this culture, partnering to create this culture that's just so inspirational at Riverview. And then going out and meeting with families and when there are bumps in the road, working together to figure it all out.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of alumni activities do we offer at the school?
Alumni activities, something that we're working to build. So right now we have an alumni band, and we have some alumni kind of band nights throughout the course of the year. We have, we just had an alumni versus staff basketball game, which is neat.
Yes.
And I'll tell you one of the dreams I have is that we're going to work overtime to raise money to build a new gym. Mm-hmm. And what I'm really excited about is what that might offer to alumni. Right. And we're thinking of it more as a wellness center than just a traditional gym. So we're going to have, you know, nutrition and cooking might be part of it, and fitness is going to be part of it, and mindfulness. So I can imagine alumni being able to come back and take a cooking class or a fitness class or something. So we love our alumni. There are many alums who are just right here on the Cape, right?
Yeah.
So we want to provide opportunities for them to come back. And this summer we have an alumni reunion we're really excited about that we're planning.
Right. What has been your favorite memory as head of school?
Wow, that's a good question, and it's a tough one because there's so many. A couple that come to mind. One is the convocation, the opening of school, right? You remember that?
Yes.
It was a beautiful, beautiful day this year. It's a time of the year where we all come together and build community, and everybody's coming with hope and new goals and new dreams, and we're kind of building our Riverview family on the very first day. And one of the things that I like to do is there's an arbor that students walk through on that ceremony. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, you walk under it, and I give everybody a high five.
Yes.
Did you remember giving me a high five?
Yes.
We'll do it now, yeah? Yeah. So that is a great memory. And also, that graduation weekend last year, where there's the prom and the drama production and then the GROW graduation and the high school graduation, it's just amazing. And I remember being with my wife in the gala, the big gala we have under the tent, being with my wife Melanie that weekend, and she looked at me and she said, you know, I think this is one of the happiest places on earth. Aww. And I believe that at Riverview. There's so much happiness and joy, and that weekend really brings it all together.
Yeah, that weekend really, I was like that weekend really got me really very proud.
Yeah, you should be really proud.
Yes. How many schools have you been the head of?
This is my second school that I've been the head of. I started at the Greenwood School in Vermont, and I started as a teacher and an admissions director and kind of worked my way up. and was head of that school for 11 years before coming to
Wow.
Riverview.
Was that also a special needs school, if you
Yep.
don't mind me asking?
Yep, it was a special needs school, all boys though. It was an all boys
Oh,
school, so
yeah.
a little bit different energy at that school.
Yes. Do you enjoy participating in any winter activities like the ski trips?
Yeah, I love skiing. This year we were going to go up and do an overnight ski trip like we did last year, and last year on that overnight trip it was fantastic. This year, Pat's Peak, it was like 70 degrees and the snow was melting,
Oh.
so little tricky to have the
Yeah.
overnight ski trip this year. But we're going to try to do something different, maybe whitewater rafting or something. So I always love getting out there and having fun.
Yes.
And today's the staff student basketball game, so
Yes.
I've
Are
already
you-
started stretching.
Are you playing again?
I'm playing, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
playing. Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes. Do you get excited or nervous about graduation?
More excited than nervous. I used to get, more nervous at graduations, but it's such an exciting time, and you speak from the heart, and you get to see students who've had these victories year after year after year, these personal victories that add up over time to transformations, and it's so moving when students get up on that stage and receive their diploma and are recognized. It's just so amazing, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and it's very, very exciting. I get excited every year.
How do you think the school play of Greece will be this year?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see the school play.
Me too.
And I heard a rumor that someone's playing me in the school play.
Yes. Andrew Kerr is playing you.
Okay, so I'm really excited to see that. Yeah.
Me too. I hear from an alumni that he published us and Project Forward in the Marblehead High School Headlight School newspaper. Do you know anything about this, or did you read the article?
I have not seen the article. I'd love to see it. It's wonderful that an alumni would take that initiative and write a story. I'd love to see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Where is it again? Marblehead?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not have a hard copy, but I took a picture of it.
Oh, maybe you can email that to me.
Okay.
I'd love to see it.
Great. Thank you for coming.
Oh, hey, thank you again for having me. You did a great job. and
Thank
I
you.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Cameron. I am interviewing Jay from Cape Cod Media. How could you prevent a virus from getting on your computer?
The easiest way is using antivirus software, which many companies make. There's
Yeah.
free versions and there's paid versions. The paid versions just offer a few more features than the not paid version does. But at minimum, you should have a free version on your computer to keep the keep the virus off your computer.
Nice. How can people protect themselves online?
Easiest way to do that is be particular at the websites you go to. Many can have malware on them. Pop-up blockers do help as well. But the best way is to make sure you know which sites you're going to that are not infected.
Right. How long have you been working with technology?
I've been working with technology probably since middle high school time frame, so it's been quite a number of years.
Right. What is your favorite thing to do while fixing them?
Well, I do like to tinker with technology, so I like to
Yeah.
pull things apart and see how they work, figure out how they work and how to put them back together again.
How do you prevent someone from trolling you or hacking you?
The easiest way to do that is usually within your email. Make sure you don't open anything up that you don't know who it came from and delete it
Right.
right away. If you're browsing, again, you can use best practices not to go to certain sites that you don't know what they are. And if you get a pop-up on your computer, don't click on it. Close the browser down maybe and reopen it.
All right. What do you do if you get a pop-up? Will it always contain a virus?
Not always. Lots of times, a good example is you might need to print something, a page up from the internet, and it might open another page.
Right.
So those times you do need to be open, but for the most part, it's good to have your pop-up blocker on, which is pretty much available in any web browser these days.
If you get a virus, how do you fix it?
If you do get a virus, the best thing to do is unplug your computer from the internet, which is the cable on the back of your computer, or shut your Wi-Fi off. And at that point, you need to shut off your system restore points, and then run your antivirus software, and it'll go through, and if it finds any, it'll allow you to delete them. And once that's completed, you can go back to regular using.
All right. What do you do if you get the blue screen of death or the red screen of death?
If you get the great blue screen of death, the best thing to do really is reboot your system and see if it comes up okay. Usually it just requires a reboot,
Right.
whether it's a Mac or a PC.
And when your computer is not working on technology, what do you do, and do you do it for fun?
I do technology pretty much all of the time. There's lots of other things I like to do, but I also work with a professional audio
Right.
engineer, so I do a lot of live
That's
sound and
nice.
music recording as well, and video, and certainly love to go skiing when I can.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I am here with the head of school once again, Mr. Stuart Miller. How's it going?
It's going good, Joe. How's it going with you?
Going fine. So what do you like about Riverview School?
What do I like about Riverview School? Gosh, there's so many things I like. I'll tell you a couple of them.
Okay.
One thing I really like is working with a team of adults who come together because they believe in the students, they believe in the progress that they can make. They take such great joy in their hearts when students make progress, and being just a part of that team is fantastic. And I love, another thing I really, really like about Riverview School is the students. Every day, every single day I get inspired by seeing students reach outside their comfort zone, seeing acts of kindness, seeing the optimism and gratitude that's on campus that you guys show every day. It's an amazing environment, and so I think the thing I like most about Riverview is just the environment that we work together, students and faculty, to create, and I'm really proud of it.
So have you been the head of other schools before? If so, where?
I was the head of Greenwood School, which is in Vermont. We were just talking about Vermont. That is an all-boys school at this time. And I was head of that school for 11 years before coming to Riverview.
So Chronicle, for those of you who don't know, which airs weeknights at 7:30 on WCVB, Boston's ABC affiliate, which is on Channel 5. So and Riverview actually showed on Monday night, they showed a segment on Cafe Riverview, which is owned by our school. Did you see that segment?
I did.
If so, what did you think about it?
I thought it was fantastic that they highlighted the cafe. I think it's fantastic that the larger community of viewers had a chance to learn a little bit about Riverview School, meet some of our students and see them in action, learn about the opportunities that are at the cafe and how it is very much a hands-on classroom, and how the community of Cape Cod supports the cafe, coming in and interacting with the students and getting some wonderful food too. So I thought it was just a great opportunity to highlight the cafe. And what was nice too is at the end of the segment, they talked about the thrift store, which is right attached to the cafe, and the good work that's happening there as well. So that cafe and thrift store was great to get a little press and get the word out about the good work that's happening at Riverview and that you're doing with your friends.
Yeah, and by the way, just so you guys know, you can check if you don't know how to see the video, you can check that segment you can check the link on the bottom of your screen. By the way, the link to the video, anyways, let's move on to, what do you think of Riverview School? Oh, I'm sorry, I already just asked you that.
Yeah.
What do you think of Riverview directors?
Directors, Board of Trustees are you talking about?
I'm thinking like the directors, like Director of Healthcare Services, Director of Advisors, like just name a couple.
Okay, so I love working with them. They're great people who have big hearts, and a lot of the work we do is to set vision for the school. You know, what do we want to? What are some of the things that we as a school want to accomplish this year? And another thing that we do, quite frankly, is problem solve, right? Because there are things that pop up, and we need to come together and kind of figure them out to make sure that we're doing our job in best supporting students and creating this great environment. So I really enjoy working with that team. And that team, as you know, then goes and works with and leads other departments at the school.
So something about, another question similar to that is, I see that you and the Riverview directors / coordinators have meetings every Tuesday mornings. What do you and the program team talk about?
Yeah, we do meet once a week formally as a group. And as I said, you know, we talk about things that we want to accomplish during the school year. We talk about, are there things that we can do to really reinforce the environment and the values that we uphold, and to create this environment that is empowering to students? Are there students who need support that we can do a better job helping? Are there faculty that need support in different ways, programs that need support? So it's a way for us to come together once a week and really make sure that we're upholding our promise to you and to families in creating this great environment to empower you to maximize your potential.
I know it's about a month away, but do you have any plans for Easter?
It's about a month away. I know I'll be with family. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But usually we try to do something around sunrise. It's a great opportunity to express gratitude and to celebrate at sunrise, and we try to have a nice dinner together too. How about you? Do you have any plans for Easter?
Well, actually, we're going to be spending it on the Cape because on Sunday we're going to be going to the Ocean House, which is just a mile from here, or a mile and a half actually.
Yeah, it's a great place, right? That's nice. So
Yeah.
you'll be with family too then.
Yeah, I guess. First year my brother's coming to the Cape for Easter.
Cool.
Thank you again for joining us.
Oh, Joe, hey, thank you for the invitation. I enjoyed our time together, and you had some good questions there. You did a great job.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Maddie O'Neill, and today I am interviewing Kevin Morley. He is the Public Information Officer for the Emergency Preparedness Division of the County of Barnstable in Massachusetts. Which winter storm from these years was the hardest one to prepare for?
Well, if we go back in time and we look at 2013, that was the storm Nemo, and that was the hardest one we've seen for a long time. This year we had the one in January, which was very hard to prepare for because we didn't know whether it was going to be rain or snow. So we have to watch the weather very closely to make plans.
Oh yeah, especially in coastal Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
Yes. What is the largest number of schools that have closed during a winter storm on the Cape?
Well, all of them. So I don't know the exact number of schools on the Cape, but we've had storms where the every school on the Cape has been closed for a couple days or more.
Oh.
Yep.
How many schools have been used as shelters during winter storms?
Well, we have 6 schools on the Cape that are used as regional shelters in Falmouth, Sandwich, Barnstable, DY High School in Yarmouth,
Yes.
the Cape Tech in Harwich,
Yes.
and also the Nauset Regional High School up in Eastham. So we have 6 schools that are set up to be regional shelters.
Do the kids have school during when the schools are shelters, or do you close down the schools?
Usually if the shelters are open, it's because the weather is so bad and the schools are closed anyway.
Yes.
So we haven't had that problem.
Do you watch the news segment of the blizzard of '78 on its anniversary? If so, were you surprised when you saw how much snow the Cape got back then?
Well, that was like the world's record storm, I think, for this area. So it was a great reminder of how bad that storm was.
Yeah. Exactly. How many Cape Cod RTA routes were canceled during the most recent winter storm?
The RTA, as I recall, shut down its normal service, but they were ready to help us if we needed to open the shelters. They would bring out special buses to pick up people if we needed to.
Would you want to deal with shoveling every day during the storm?
Not at all. Back in 2015, we had to shovel every day, it seemed like, so it got very tiresome.
Yes. And also, were any restaurants like closed down because of the big flood, and if they were like up in water, like because I've seen videos of that this winter, because you know the landing has been like that for like, I don't know, by now it's back open again, but the landing there, because of all the water like outside of it, they shut it down. And has anything like what happened to the landing happened down here?
Well, I know that Provincetown had some water on Commercial Street. They had some very serious flooding in Provincetown. So I'm not sure if anybody closed down, but I know that the water was a big problem for all the businesses in Provincetown.
Yeah. So would you say that's like half as bad as the landing?
Well, I'm not sure that I know which restaurant the landing is, but is that in Sandwich or where is that?
Off Cape.
Oh, it's off Cape. I'm not familiar with that, so You might be interested to know that the Barnstable County itself has an emergency preparedness division that
Right.
plans for storms and things like
Exactly.
that.
Do you establish which schools are used as shelters? Is that like your job?
It's not my job. My job as public information officer is to tell everybody what the situation is. So if we are going to open the shelters, then it's my job to call up the newspapers and the radio stations and put things on
Cape Cod Times.
Cape Cod Times and all the papers, because most of the papers have websites. And we also use Twitter and Facebook.
Exactly.
Yep, so we do a lot of things so that everyone knows what's going on.
Can you give the viewers at home some tips on storm preparedness?
Sure, I'd be happy to. One of the key things that people need to do is to stay aware, to listen to the weather, and to know that if a storm is coming, they need to be prepared. And they need to be prepared so if something bad happens, they can be self-sufficient. They can take care of themselves for at least 3 days.
Yes.
So that means having water and food and batteries.
Right.
They should have a little portable radio
Exactly.
that runs on batteries, because if the power's out, they won't be able to hear anything unless they have a generator. Some
Or
people
if
have
cell
generators.
service is out, that'll be tough.
Exactly. So we have to be self-sufficient. That's the
Right.
key word for preparedness.
Are there any shelters that take pets here on Cape Cod?
All of our 6 regional shelters take pets. When the
The
shelters
schools?
are open, the schools that we mentioned,
Yes.
they all have a great group of people who handle people's pets, because people don't want to leave home if they can't take their pets with them. So that's very important.
Right.
All the shelters take pets.
Exactly. What should people do if they have pets going to the shelters?
Well, they should, just like they would pack themselves, they need what their personal supplies are. If their pet has a toy or some kind of comforting thing like a blanket, they should bring that for the pet. They should bring any special, food or medication that the pet might need.
Exactly.
And the pet should be in a container if it's a dog, and have a leash. And so if they were going on a trip, the best way to think about it is if you were going on a trip and taking your pet, what would you take for your pet? So going to a shelter is kind of like going on a trip,
Right.
but it's not going on a fancy cruise ship.
So would they need to be in cages?
You should transport them depending on the size, but the pet people at the shelters have cages already set up. But if you wanted to carry your little dog in a container, certainly you should do that. But the shelter itself has its own cages.
Right. Have we ever had like a power outage due to an ice storm like in 2008?
We're lucky on the Cape. We don't get the types of ice storms that happen inland.
Right.
like in the Worcester
Central
area.
Mass.
Central Massachusetts, exactly.
Exactly.
But we have certainly had wet, heavy snow.
Right.
One of our meteorologists calls it gorilla glue snow. It sticks on the wires and on the limbs, and when the wind blows, it brings it down, so it's almost as bad as ice.
Right. Thank you for coming today, Kevin. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Hello, from Cape Cod Wildlife Center in Barnstable, Massachusetts. Our next interview is the director of Cape Wildlife Center, Zach Mertz. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing okay.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. What is Cape Wildlife Center?
So the Cape Wildlife Center is a nonprofit wildlife hospital and education center in Barnstable, Massachusetts. So every year we go about treating sick, injured, and orphaned wildlife. And in the process of caring for these animals, we try to educate the public as possible.
So how long has Cape Wildlife Center been around for?
Well, we took over the Cape Wildlife Center 9 months ago. So on March 1st of this year, we started. And since then, we work through the New England Wildlife Center, who provides the veterinary care and management support, and the Pegasus Foundation, who are administrative agent and supporters of what we do.
So how long have you been director of Cape Wildlife Center?
I started this job on March 1st, so I've been here 9 months. Pretty new to the Cape, but I must say, the ecosystems down here, the animals in the community are very, very, not only rich in terms of the types of animals, but very supportive of conservation, which is very important.
Cool. What kind of wild animals have you rescued?
Oh man, since we've been here, believe it or not, in 9 months we've treated over 2,000 animals. And of those 2,000 animals, I would guess there's probably about 150 species already.
How do animals get to and from here and back to the wild?
So that's a good question. The way that animals come into our hospital is through a number of different channels. So it could be folks like you, say you found an animal on the street. As you can see, it's happening behind us right now. It can be families, say they're walking along the beach, they find an animal, they can pick them up and bring it to us. But we also work really closely with natural resource officers, animal control, fire departments, police departments, pretty much anyone down here on the Cape. If you find an animal, you can always give us a call and we'll try to help. And then, so once the animals are better, our goal is always to release them right back where they came from.
Oh, okay. So what's the longest that an animal has had to stay at your location?
Well, so we've been here for 9 months. I think we had one hawk that was here something like 4 or 5 months. And he was brought in because he had ingested some rat poison, unfortunately. So he had eaten a mouse that had eaten some rat poison, and he got really sick. And it took us that long to get him healthy and strong enough to go back out to the wild.
We're glad he survived at least. So what do you think of our Riverview internship workers here?
We love working with you guys. Not only does it help us keep the place running and stocked and looking great, but it really, really adds a nice culture and some friendly faces to what we're doing. And these guys have been helpful for everything from helping us intake animals, but they're also taking care of the lobby turtles and really contributing to pretty much every area that we work in.
So who has donated money to you guys? To you guys?
Well, so we're a small community-based nonprofit. The Pegasus Foundation gave us an initial gift to get started. And we've depended really on community support from the nice folks that bring us animals and the people who care about conservation on the Cape. We also work with a number of foundations, as well as larger donors and community groups and corporations. So it's really a mishmash of different funding sources, which is what it takes to keep a place like this running.
Cool. So how are the donations helpful to the center?
The donations help us because they allow us to, A, take care of the animals, meaning that we can keep the shelves stocked, the fridge is full, we can buy medications, we can afford to treat these guys. And realize, you had asked what the longest patient was, but the average patient stay for us is about 40 days.
Oh.
So if you think about 40 days worth of care and food and cleaning and staffing for each one of these animals, it really, really has a significant financial impact. So these donations allow us to continue doing what we're doing and educating folks and teaching people the right way to go about caring for animals that they find and helps us here too.
So Riverview has helped as well with the money?
They help us by donated services. They generously come in and they work here, and we like to think we can give them a little bit back too in jobs training and skills training. But no, they are dedicated volunteers.
Okay. So what do you plan to do if enough money is raised for you guys?
Well, our plan right now is to continue operating. So we're a new nonprofit as of 9 months ago. And because we're a nonprofit, we don't get any state or federal money for caring for these animals. So right now we're working really hard to raise money so we can build a permanent home right here in Barnstable. And in this first year, it's absolutely critical for us to raise enough funding and get enough community support that we can show prospective funders and we can show other community members that we're here for the long haul and that we'll stay a resource for the community.
Have you worked at any other animal places? If so, where?
I have. Before this, I worked at New England Wildlife Center. And so they are a wildlife hospital and education center about 60 miles north of here. And when the Humane Society announced they were going to shut down this project, New England Wildlife Center raised some funding, sent me down, sent our veterinarian Priya Patel down, and provided most of our medical supply budget for this year. So I worked there for probably 6 years doing very similar things. But what I will say is down here, the animals are very different. Being on the coast and being on the Cape, you see a lot more seabirds. You see some different terrestrial mammals. And so between the two places, we've really formed a nice partnership where we can take care of animals in the southeastern portion of Massachusetts.
So where can we find more information about the Cape Wildlife Center?
I'm glad you asked. So today our new website launches, which is capewildlifecenter.com. Or if you find an injured animal, have a question about wildlife in your backyard, ecology, environmental science, you can always call our front desk. We're open 7 days a week, and that would be 508-362-0111.
Okay, that's cool. So, we really enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me. This was great. Pleasure, Joe.